Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Bliss and Mischief. I'm your host, Amy. Today, I have a question for you. Have you ever had a brilliant idea, the kind that makes you immediately want to start building, launching, or doing, but instead you get trapped inside of a research rabbit hole? You're in a constant cycle of needing to know more, learn more, and endlessly research more. I 100% understand that dilemma. And honestly, it is a phenomenal way to self sabotage. Today's episode is dedicated to helping you break free of a sneaky little habit that can absolutely crush your motivation and kill all of those big goals you're holding on to. I'm talking about analysis paralysis. So get comfy, pour yourself a tasty beverage, and let's have an honest conversation because I'm here to challenge you with a whole lot of love and a healthy dose of reality. I get it. You're trying to move forward. You know you have a great idea, but something keeps holding you back. You keep telling yourself that to be successful, you just need a little more time. You just need a little more knowledge. You just need a little bit more whatever. But here's the thing, you can't actually be successful until you start acting like it. Maybe you do have a killer idea, a massive career change, or this really amazing project just waiting to be realized. But while that dream is screaming for liftoff, you're constantly stuck in the prepping and researching phase. Well, here's a newsflash. You are not becoming more prepared. You are delaying. You are frozen. And I know exactly how that feels because my own inner critic, Randa, and I call her that because she's randomly an asshole at times, never misses a chance to whisper that I'm not ready either. But the actual core reason, candidly, you are waiting for some mythical, perfect moment and 100% clarity before you give yourself permission to start. And in truth, the I must have total clarity before I can take action reasoning is just a lie that we tell ourselves to stay in our comfort zone. Unfortunately, feeding into this belief that's keeping you warm and cozy is actually the worst thing you can do for yourself. What we need to do is call it out for what it is, a piss poor excuse of epic proportions. It's a comfy lie that keeps us busy, but in reality, we're just spinning our wheels and producing nothing of real value. We're actually wasting our best and most focused energy on feeling productive without really ever delivering the goods. So, the shift we're making today, the real game changer, is accepting this simple truth. Clarity is the reward for taking action, not the prerequisite. You have to start moving. Even if it feels messy, even when you're super uncertain, you have to be willing to take that first wobbly step to reveal the next one. Remember, you have to be willing to suck at something before you can be truly great. It's like learning to walk. If you had stopped trying after your first fall, you would still be crawling around on all fours. Taking a leap of faith is how we truly uncover our bliss shift, that exciting little bit of playful trouble in the process of just getting started. And I want you to know that it is okay to be a little messy. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, Amy, but how the hell do I stop this constant barrage of thoughts telling me that I'm not ready or I'm stupid or I don't know enough? Well, I don't want you to worry about that because I have a powerful tool to share with you today that can help immediately, and it's called the 80% rule. This simple mind hack that I'm going to share with you changes everything, and it will stop that analysis paralysis dead in its tracks. When your plan, preparation, or idea feels about 80% ready, that is your cue to go for it. That's your signal to jump in. Stop aiming for that mythical perfection and start embracing that you are prepared enough to start. We'll dig deeper into how to apply the 80% rule later on in this episode. So for now, just keep that number in your head. And you're probably wondering, what about the other 20%? Well, that, my friends, comes from experience and is the only way to turn all of the knowledge you have acquired into learned wisdom. Take a moment and ask yourself where analysis paralysis is showing up and holding you back from your best life. Okay, now let's dig in and get you unstuck. Here is the $1,000,000 question. Why do we actually wait for perfect clarity? Why are we so obsessed with this flawless blueprint? Well, to be brutally honest, sweets, it's fear. This tiny mask saying, I'm being responsible, I'm making sure I'm prepared, and I know enough to feel good about jumping in. That's just a way of keeping yourself safe. When you demand a flawless plan, what you're really demanding is a guarantee from the universe that you won't get hurt, you won't look foolish, and you definitely won't fail. I know it's scary to think about experiencing all of those uncomfortable scenarios. And all of your excuses and delays will keep you safe, but they will also keep you from flying. At the end of the day, analysis paralysis is just a fancy name for chickening out. Even though it feels safe staying in this preparation state, it isn't harmless. In fact, what it actually does is create massive emotional strain and it completely drains your energy. Seriously, think about how infuriatingly exhausting the waiting is. How much energy do you waste fighting with yourself? You're having these endless, pointless arguments in your head. Should I do A or B? What if I look stupid? What if I don't know enough? I just need to Google this for one more hour. And while you're doing that, Randa, that inner critic of yours, is in your ear saying, see, you can't even make a simple decision. How do you even think you're ready to move forward? And that internal battle uses so much more fuel than taking one tiny, messy, imperfect step. You're actually exhausting yourself by preparing, and that means you're stealing the energy you do need for the actual work. That's why you feel totally worn out before you even begin. The putting off has already robbed you of precious resources, and you've convinced yourself that this stress is productivity. But that is just a lie. When you refuse to act, you trap your own amazing potential. And what's the story you start telling yourself? Is it a victim story? Do you start saying, I can't move because I don't have all the answers? Painful truth is that you are not a victim of confusion. You are actively choosing your standstill. You are choosing to sacrifice forward motion for a fake sense of control. You're wasting your potential by staying powerless. And that is infuriating because you are capable of so much more than you realize. So stop using your victimhood as a reason why you can't and turn it into fuel for changing into who you can be. Stop trading the massive opportunity of the unknown for the perceived safety of doing absolutely nothing. This is a bad trade. Trust me, I have done it. And I want to make something crystal clear, so listen closely. If you're sitting around waiting for the stars to line up or for the universe to hand deliver a message by carrier pigeon, you're going to be waiting forever. The sign you're waiting for will not come until you start moving because the universe only responds when you act, not when you research and hope. So stop waiting and start doing because we are no longer justifying the stall. We are done with excuses, and it's time to stop living in the land of what if and start living in the land of let's find out. All right, now that you're ready to jump, it's time to pivot and talk about the solution because it is surprisingly simple. The fundamental truth here is that moving forward is what creates light. You can only see the next 3 feet of the path in front of you once you've actually put your foot down and taken the first step. You have to start trusting the process of motion. You have to jump and go because this is exactly where we find the bliss. The challenge or the mischief is the messy, uncertain start. And that positive feeling, aka the bliss, is the instant, clear understanding that only shows up after you commit. Now, on to the tool you're going to use to absolutely crush your analysis paralysis this week, the 80% rule. And once you start applying this rule, you can officially be done looking for 100% readiness. You can stop waiting for perfection, and you can take that first step forward with more confidence. And what does this look like in real life? Well, if you want to quit a bad job, 80% is having the majority of your resume loaded up and applying for 3 jobs, not waiting for the perfect moment or for your toxic boss to quit. You just need to get some momentum. If you want to start writing, 80% is opening the document and typing 3 imperfect, maybe terrible sentences, not waiting for the entire chapter to flawlessly be lined out. Just get started. If you want to jump into a new career, 80% is having a solid grasp on the core knowledge because you will absolutely learn the rest as you go. That final 20% is only revealed by doing the work. So if you're 80% there, you're ready to jump. Because here's the truth: clarity doesn't come from knowing more, it comes from doing more. Our brains need to practice the task and turn that knowledge into real wisdom. But by demanding 100% knowledge up front, you're blocking your brain from getting the necessary experience to grow. You are literally stopping your own growth by demanding all the answers before you put in the effort of experience. And it's time to start learning by doing, not hoping, not researching. When you put the 80% rule into action, two amazing things happen immediately. One, you instantly change your energy. You pull all of your focus away from fear and hesitation, and that 80% action forces your energy to surge right into your solar plexus, the epicenter of your personal power, will, and action. This isn't magic, it's just solid psychology. The moment you send out your resume, make that intimidating phone call, or take the first scary step forward, you feel a clear surge of, oh, I started. Now I'll handle the result. That feeling is you choosing to act instead of choosing to worry. And I promise you, it is one of the best damn feelings in the world. Secondly, you get practical clarity. You immediately discover the real problem, not the problem you just imagined in your head. And this means your path just got dramatically clearer. And you'll find that the obstacle is almost always never what you thought it was. And 9 out of 10 times, it's usually something much smaller and more manageable. The positive feeling here is accepting that 80% is not just okay, it's a great place to be. You're allowing yourself to be a beginner who doesn't have all the answers. And that permission is what powers the final 20%, which is where experience creates the real wisdom. So let's lock in the idea that the 80% rule is now your new default. Before we wrap up this energy and move on with our lives, let's anchor into the wisdom deep within our bodies. We've done some really powerful work today, and you absolutely deserve a moment to just receive this blessing. May you speak your truth with assertiveness, grace, and courage. May you be deeply rooted in the wisdom of your ancestors, guides, and angels. May you clearly see the path before you, and as new challenges arise, may you learn all lessons through love and compassion. May you be intuitively connected to your higher self, and may it pull you forward in times of question. May you be divinely connected to the infinite, universal energy of all that is love, God, Source, the divine, whatever term resonates most with your soul. May it strengthen and protect you and bring you immense abundance, love, and joy. Take a nice deep breath, and we'll bring it back down to earth and get moving. Your challenge this week is simple but powerful. I want you to identify one big goal where you feel stuck waiting for clarity, just one. And then you are going to aggressively apply the 80% rule. Ask yourself, do I have 80% of what I need to start? If the answer is yes, you must take action. Do not wait for 100%. The sole purpose is to move your energy, to build wisdom through practice, and through that motion, gain the clarity that you have been waiting for. You know the truth. You learn by doing, not by hoping. So go do the thing, whatever it is. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And if this episode has given you the kick in the ass you need to finally start something, please be a friend and share it with one other person who may need a little motivation as well. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Next week, we're going to dive into the topic of the trap of empathy, how to truly be supportive of the people you love without being completely consumed by their difficulties. It's all about setting boundaries with love. So until next time, be guided by your wisdom and go find your bliss, Jiff.